welcome to August. Are you excited to see all the new notebooks and journals that I have available to show you in the notebook and journal shop for this month? I am so excited to show them off to you. We've got a bunch to talk about today. So the first one, sometimes for some people, August is back to school time, but even if it's not back to school for you, maybe you want to think about reading. So a lot of people make goals for themselves to read a certain number of books per year. And then there's even like Instagram feeds dedicated to sharing book reviews, and there's websites, there's all kinds of places where people share their book reviews and look for next books that they want to read. So this is a notebook that meets that purpose. So first of all, isn't it cute? Don't you love the booky design? And then when you get inside of it, there are some pages where you can keep track. If you do have a goal for yourself, there's space to keep track of 50 books if you're reading 50 books in a certain time frame. And then there's even some blank lines. If you have more than 50, you don't have to stop at 50, of course. And then you get to give each of the book, make a note of the genre and your rating. So that's just like high level overview of what you thought of each of the books. Then you get into the actual book review pages, and you can have prompts to give you all the information or keep track of all the information that you might find helpful with the prompts. And then there's also a blank page for you to make your own notes, write down your own things that you realize or recognize as a result of reading that book. And at the very bottom, there's a way to mark who recommended it to you and who you would recommend this to. So much already available for you. Then at the end of the book, there's also space for a wish list of books that you would love to read, authors to keep track of, and all of us have them, and there's no shame, no harm, but we all have the books that we did not finish. So there's a did not finish list here at the back. If you want to just keep track of what you started and then why you didn't finish, what didn't it do for you, this will be interesting to look at once you filled the whole book in, just to kind of see what's your reading style, what are your reading preferences, what patterns do you notice. So that's the book wish list and reviews. The next one that I have to show you is a prompted journal for self-care. So this is great because it is a guided notebook for mindfulness. So just like most of my journals, plenty of lined blank spaces or pages, but every other page has a prompt for you to think about as you journal. If you find it helpful and interesting, you can use the prompt. If you just want to journal with whatever's on your mind, you can skip the prompt. But it just gives you so many ideas of things to think about. You can start at the beginning of the book and go all the way through to the end, or you can just flip the book open to whatever random page you land on and use that prompt. For example, this one is relax fully in this present moment. Good to remind ourselves of, right? And then the question is, what comes up for you? So once you've relaxed, then you can journal about what comes up for you when you're relaxing and being aware and present in this moment. So that is the prompted journal for self-care and mindfulness. I think it will be a great addition to your journaling or mindfulness practice. And as with every month, I want to share one of the 5-star reviews that I got last month. So it wasn't on this book, which is such a fun and colorful book. This is called Networking Follow-Up, but it was for the Black Book of Networking, which is actually the same interior with a different cover. So if you like to meet other people and you want to keep track of what they do, who they are, who they would be a good fit to meet, who you should recommend or introduce them to, you would want to get one of these networking books. There's a yellow one, there's a black one, and then there's this colorful one with a glossy cover in case you find yourselves networking at restaurants or places where there's food or liquid. At least with this one, you can wipe off the cover if it gets a little bit wet. So the review, 5-star review, thank you so much. It came from Caitlin, and she said, I'll just hold it up here so I can read. She said, this is a great networking sidekick. I agree. It's so fun and colorful. Even if you get the black book, it's black and white, but it's classy. So all around good choice. She says the prompts for different types of information you may take note of for each contact inspire some conversation starters for me. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Caitlin. And she finds it super helpful as she gets more comfortable with networking. Yes, so many of us are not comfortable. So using a book like this as an aid or as a tool or as a sidekick would be super helpful. And she says she likes the name tag on the back cover as a cute touch. This one doesn't have a name tag on the back. This one has a little prompt. So if you're carrying it around, if it's on the stack of your things, it says, come say hello. Why wouldn't they? It's amazing. So thank you, Caitlin, for that 5-star review. I asked her what book I could offer her in appreciation for doing that for me so that other people can find that book too and kind of know what she found useful or helpful in that book. And she asked for the list journal. I talked about this a few newsletters ago. This one is very popular. People love it. It's got prompts for lists of 10. So every set of pages has a space for you to make a list of 10 things plus space for you to write what you realize, your reflection, your thought, what you noticed as you made that list. These are thought-provoking. Some of them are deep, some of them are just fun, but they're all really interesting. So if you haven't checked out this book yet, this list journal, especially if you're not a traditional journaler, especially if you don't want to journal daily or don't have time to journal daily or don't know what to write, you are going to love this journal. So Caitlin gets it as a gift from me, as a thank you, and you can get it on the shop too. And so how can you get a free notebook from me? Well, if you join the notebook newsletter, you'll get this video from me once a month, and you'll also get some helpful information about note-taking or list making or journaling, and you'll find out all of the new notebooks and journals that are joining the shop. So make sure you're on that list. You can just go to bexb.org/quick-shop and then scroll all the way down past all of the notebooks and journals, and then you'll see the little prompt where you can put in your name and email address, and that way you can be notified of all the new journals and books coming out, like this one, the last one I want to talk to you about for August, Caffeinated and Completed. So this is an annual goal journal, but you do not need to wait until the beginning of the year to start it because this one is not dated. So you can start with this as soon as you get it, and you can just follow along for the next 12 months. Each section is broke down by month. So you'll have, for the first month, the second month, the third month, no matter which month you start in. And then inside of each month, you have space for tracking your progress and your goals for each week. There's some check boxes. There's some place to note your progress. There's some place to note your reflections. The very beginning of the book has some questions for you to set your intention so you know what your goals are or what you're trying to do. Ask you some really helpful and interesting questions like why, and how will you measure it, and what criteria will you use, and how will you continue, or why will you continue even when you face obstacles. So this book, if you love coffee or caffeine, this is going to be a fun addition so that you can keep track of what you're working on and what you're working towards, and I know you're going to love it. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you joined the notebook newsletter. I hope you check out all the other notebooks and journals available in the shop. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next month. Bye-bye.